and of those whose interests have been committed to our charge. Amen. I believe the nominee seated before us is Elizabeth Mkongo. Sergeant Tabs, kindly help her take off.
I, Elizabeth Mkongo, do hereby swear to testify on all matters in question and tell this committee the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Elizabeth Mkongo, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to the members of the Appointments Committee who will undertake the vetting. My name is Jomo, the chair of the committee and the speaker of the county assembly.
I once Michelle, the speaker, also MCA on the BUNGE and the member of this committee.
Anton Warige, Mabutu leader and member of this committee.
Member of this committee. My name is Lucas Silulu. I'm the MCA and minority whip of the house.
Newton Salim is my name, MSME member of this committee and a minority leader.
Elizabeth Mkongo, do you meet the requirements of Chapter 6? Relax, feel at home. Our first question. Before we take the questions, I want to inform you we have only 1 hour, and you really need to know how to time yourself, because your time will be up before we finish asking questions, and that will disadvantage you. I will pose the first question. Kindly tell us about yourself, where you want in every education milestone. Yes, it's our national language, you can use Kiswahili.
Kwa majina, naitwa Elizabeth Mkongo. Nimeolewa, nina mume mmoja na watoto wawili. Elizabeth Mkongo amesoma Voice mwaka wa kuanzia 83 hadi 90, na kutoka Diploma Elizabeth Mkongo alienda Rwanda mwaka wa 1991 hadi 94. Hapo Elizabeth Mkongo alitoka na C-. Elizabeth Mkongo kutoka hapo alienda JKUAT, Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture, na niliweza kufanya diploma in IT. Niliyofanya kuanzia mwaka wa 2001-2004. Kutoka hapo JKUAT nilipata internship East African Portland, na katika harakati ya kazi niliyokuwa nikifanya na weledi niliokuwa nao, hiyo kampuni ikaona umuhimu wangu na ikaamua kunipa contract ya 3 years ambayo niliweza kufanya. Wakati wa IT ilikuwa very new kwa market, na Portland wakati huo ilikuwa na kwa lugha kidogo ya pole through the chair, saa zingine maneno yata sije kama inaonekana ni mkati.
Mr. Chairman, maybe to remind the nominee appearing in the county assembly, you have a rule that if you choose to use Kiswahili, please flow in Kiswahili until if you choose English, we are not allowed to mix languages for purposes of handset. It's parliamentary.
Chair. Now let me use English. In Portland, I did my internship. The company absorbed me in IT department. By then, IT was very new in the market, and I did I did hard work, and they recognized my job. What I was in there, I was in archiving, in charge of, I was in IT department, and I was in charge of archiving. Through my knowledge, I helped the company, East African Portland, to be able to identify the loopholes that were there in records, even in revenues, and even in human to identify the ghost workers through archiving, because everything was done electronically and I was the one in charge of the server room. From my internship and the job experience that I had, I did my degree in business administration between 2013 and 2016, the University of Rwanda, and I got a 7th class honor upper division. And if I go back a little bit, immediately I finished Portland. That time when I was still at home, I started working in a tour farm. I was employed in a tour.
When did you finish Portland?
Portland, I was in attachment in 2004. Then absorbed for 2 years. That was 2006 before post-elections. Then there in between, I was employed in someone's tour farm. And while in Portland, I really connected myself to the outside world because of the field that I was undertaking. I worked in a tour farm where I was employed for 2 years, and I registered mine, so I became a CEO in my own farm, which is running to date.
What's the name of the secret in the farm?
Sorry?
What's the name of your farm?
It's African Deaf Classic, it was in safaris.
Okay. I'll ask you 2 more questions, and I'll advise that you write them down. Give us the relevance of your qualifications to the position you are nominated for.
Relevance?
Give us the relevance of your qualifications to the position you are nominated for. Another question: how do you intend to use your qualifications in the management of the docket you have been nominated for? Can I repeat?
Yes.
How do you intend to use your qualifications in the management of the docket you have been nominated for?
I'll start with the first question here. The relevance qualification to the position that I've been nominated for. Now, in business administration, it cuts across all the board. And before I proceed, I explain myself. I normally relate myself with the former CS, Farida Karonei. Farida Karonei did business administration, for those who have followed her profile. And we saw her as a journalist when she was absorbed in the Ministry of Lands. But she has done something that, since independent, has never been achieved by any person who was there previously. Why do I relate myself with her? I've been interacting with her, and through the qualification that I have in also in business administration, and adding on top of my diploma, which is in IT, I saw an opportunity in this, especially now that my passion was in lands. I connected the dots in such a way that through sitting with her, working with her, I found the gap that we have here in Data, especially in matters concerning lands. So from then, I created, before I met her, I already had that passion, but the solution was not there.
Kindly, let's not drop names, please.
I stand in the chair. Now, before I engage myself, I saw the gap in Data where our lands, our people who are here, they didn't have the knowledge and the ways of solving our issue. Why do I say they didn't have the knowledge? We have had problems of issues of lands, we've been seeing of historical injustices, but solving the problem has been a journey, has been taking many years, and we have never solved any problem. Now, through the qualification that I have, the management skills, I learned for us to approach the issues of land, there are three categories. We used to mix everything, and in these categories, there are three areas where we have private land, public land, and community land. So here in Data, when I say in post general, but specific because I'm here in Data, we have so many historical injustices, but now the angle of solving those issues have been a challenge because we didn't identify exactly which approach to use in solving these issues of land. And if through the chair, you can allow me to give an example of this, I have a project, let me call it a project which I did. It took 22 years for the leaders to come and to solve the problem, but I did it within 2 months. I have a history in Tanzania, Bondeni, where people are being evicted. The previous leaders didn't know how to approach the problem, and once when I came in, I knew which angle to take. Now the community at Voi is settled with their title deed, which I say made me proud by then. But I did not stop there. I still found we had a problem across the county. I've handled so many cases, though not all of them have been solved, but they're in the pipeline. And still through the contribution that I have, I could identify the only problem that was lacking is information from the ground. Question number 2. How do I intend to use my qualification in the docket? I think I went ahead of the question before. I answered the second question before I read it again. I have solution, as I've mentioned here. 1, to identify the type of land. 1, to identify the problem of the land. 1, private. 2, public. 3, community. Once this is identified, it gives you a way on how to approach the matter. And approaching the matter, I'm not the one to make decision, and it's not something that which comes from the blues. They are stakeholders, or the community, or the people owning that piece of land, for you to be able to solve the problem. I don't know where the speaker said you are.
Yeah. We are listening, and if you are through, you can pose more questions.
Okay, I'm through for it.
Yeah, I will call upon Honorable Mwalimu to ask the next question.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Maybe before I ask the questions that I have, I've spotted a document of interest here now that Ms.Elizabeth mentioned something to do with the land. There's a copy of a title that you brought forth attached in your documents. Maybe tell us the interest of this document finding itself, or is it maybe by bad luck it's a family document, or maybe tell us something about this title.
It's not by coincidence. I do it purposely because there have been complaints out there, the title being fake. And some of my close friends would even tell me, why did you give the community a fake title? And I found it fit, instead of explaining myself, the document should explain itself. And where there is a question, while you having the document, I'll be able to explain using the document and not just allegations.
So, what was the registered name for this title, or in whose name was this title registered upon?
The title, actually, it's a society. We have a home there, so it's registered under the society's name. That is Tanzania Bondeni.
Tanzania Bondeni
Society.
Community Land Trust.
Yes.
That's what the title is registered on. So this is a copy of the title and not the original title. Could this have been overtyped?
Through the chair, I'm not the custodian of it.
How valid is this document?
It is valid.
Presented in this house.
It is valid. In lands, a document is just like a national ID. Once you pick the ID number, here you pick the LIN number. If you go to do the search, it just gives you all the details. If it's not genuine, it will not be captured.
My understanding is this. If this document was meant to be part of this interview process, and it also belongs to the community, and there is an original copy somewhere, then it should have been certified first that indeed this is an original document of that, the copy of the original that is somewhere else. So we can't just admit any document that comes here, and particularly if it is in a copy of another document. So maybe we will subject this document, Mr. Speaker, for the scrutiny, and if it will go any value to this process again.
The chair has been guided.
So, notwithstanding, allow me to ask a few questions. What is your post-qualification experience? We want to look at, that's the first question. What is your post-qualification experience? Now that you've told us you cleared school at some point, at some stage, went for some internship. So we want to get your post-experience. Story, qualifications, experience story. We want you again to highlight, as a second one, highlight key achievement in your career. The key, this one, just one in fact, the key achievement in your career that will inspire Taita Taveta residents and the house at large to expect more when you are approved as a CC for lands. Then something else, number three. Number three is, I want to believe you appreciate modern technology. So we'd like to see you, I would like you to explain to us how you intend to use modern technology in service delivery in your department or docket that you have been nominated to. Then something else that I'd like you to highlight. Next question. You make us understand.
The chair, I haven't finished the last question. You can pause and you can repeat the third question.
So the first question was on your post-qualification experience. Tell us your journey a little bit after school. Then second one, you tell us at least one key achievement that would really inspire the committee and also the residents, because Taita Taveta residents, I'm sure, are watching this live proceeding across wherever they are. So tell us something that you have done as an achievement that will inspire us, and even when we get out there, we can get good recommendation that indeed that inspired us or they were out there. So the third one, how do you intend to use modern technology? Modern technology basically is about technology with labs, with the department that you want to get into. So tackle the three, then I get the three again back to you. 3 more. Thank you.
Thank you. For the chair, allow me to start randomly, and I'll start with the second question. Highlight key achievements in my career. I'll go back to the same point where I say I achieved something that has been disturbing leaders for 22 good years. And when I come to handle the issue, I did within 2 months. And actually, to start the journey, to explain on the genesis of that, when now the community came to me, they had 19 days they were being evicted. And within that 19 days, I had to work within my framework and with all my means and the knowledge and the expertise to ensure 2,000 families are not evicted just because of a paper, and just because not all of us who can or who has knowledge in lands matters. So to me that was a very big achievement, seeing 2,000 families having who could now sleep without having any fear. Secondly, how do I intend to use modern technology within my docket? The experience that I have in IT and in my BA, there's this what do I call it? The modern, I'm unable to connect it, but I'll explain. There's this RDSASA, which has been introduced by Ministry of Lands. RDSASA, if you look at it, it connects with IT and also connects with the management. RDSASA, how do I intend to use it? Here in Onani, our records, they are all manual. Some files are missing, some are torn. Because even if the file is there, you cannot be able to read the information which is there. So, with the knowledge that I have, technology-wise, which the same I applied in Portland, and create a platform which I brought from the national government and the SASA, we introduce it. In Onani, we digitize our system, which will also enhance, speed service delivery, whereby it will be just a touch of a button and you get all your information. Secondly, the same platform will help congestion in the offices. Services like searching your document, like title deed, services like transferring your document will just be done on.
Mr. Chairman, I think the nominee is talking like the Cabinet Secretary for Land. In this particular case, because I'm trying to link, are we going to establish a technological platform or an app, an application that shall be used on Taita Taveta on land matters. Is that what you're trying to say, maybe?
Through the chair, no. We borrow from the national government. Lands, as much as there's been devolution, the lands are controlled from the national government. We are just a devolved function. So that's why I was quoting the Adi-Sasa. Adi-Sasa is already operating in Nairobi. And if you could hear the speech of the former CS, it was to be devolved. To the counties. So, with my knowledge, with my expertise, I'll sit back and wait for that step. I'll push and lobby so that we can be way ahead of others, because I've seen how it's working, and maybe, assuming maybe that accounts they don't have that expertise, I'll take advantage of it to lobby for our county.
The last one, you are doing at random, eh?
Yeah.
So you are on number?
I've done 2. Now, post-qualifications experience. Mention how I moved from Portland to register my own company. From there, when I attained my degree, first and foremost, I come from a humble background. It was not easy. Number 2, during the time after my graduation, you would weigh, where do I go? One, I feel as if I should just stay in Nairobi, where I can just be employed and work. But again, when I come to the ground, I see the challenges my own parents facing, and I ask myself, do I really belong to that other side of the world? No. I came to the ground. Coming to the ground, some of the projects that I've been doing, no one has been giving me money to push for, to advocate for the land issue. Because at times people come to me, is an old person, this person needs help, and this person has pushed into a position whereby he or she has hopes you are going to solve the problem. So at times you feel you are carrying a certain burden, you cannot express to the old person or to the old man there, to the old man or the old man there. So you tackle the problem, but you're suffering from inside.
So thank you. Maybe go to the next questions. The next set of questions. And please note, make us understand how you will entrench the youth in running your docket in bid to create employment for them. How you will entrench the youth within the appointment that you are nominated for. Is it for lands only, or what other directorates are you expected also to run? Maybe you should mention first, then we can engage you on both, because you seem to lean so much on that.
Through the chair, I stand guided, and I think you are reading my mind when you pose this question. First, let me define my docket. It's lands, physical planning, housing, mining, and energy.
All right. So in that context of the various directorates that are in that department, then take that question, particularly matters youth and employment, creation of employment. First question. Second question, what would you consider to be a key challenge in the delivery of service in the docket to which you have been nominated? Basically, what would you consider as a key challenge on the position you are just about to assume? That is the second question. The third one is what has been your highs and lows? Because you have shared a little bit of your post-qualification experience. So within that, we will expect you now to pick just maybe a case briefly of your high moment where you really felt to have done something that heavens should appreciate you, angels should clap for you, and the moment, that one moment where the other side of the world of Satan and his agents and his children were also clapping. So the highs and lows. So please, we also need to hear that. And finally, the fourth one. Please enumerate the different laws. The different laws. We really wish to hear the tenets of law that you'll be working with. Your entry and your exit. Which laws will you be applying in the position you're about to assume? In the position of land, directors of land, physical planning, housing, and mining, also energy. So all these directorates are governed by certain laws, both nationally and within the county government. We would appreciate that we also share the various laws that commiserate or match the type of task that is ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The first question, which touches the youth, I had highlighted, or I had actually, my mind was so fixed in mining when it comes to the youth, and there were ways I had thought of creating employment for the youth. Number one, first and foremost, before you create employment, you need to enlighten this person. Because you may take someone to employment, there's good money, you make this person disappear. So first and foremost, before even creating employment, we need to sensitize the youth. We need to identify, after training, we identify them, we take them for benchmarking, they see how other people are doing the other side of the world. And from there, I will take that mandate of sourcing for investors who will come and pump some money or dollars to boost our youth and get employment. Once the investors are here, opportunities for employment will be created because no one can pump money in a vacuum. Secondly, on the same employment, I thought I would go an extra mile, still on mining. And I would ensure that because our county is so rich in mining, the formula which was being used previously, that is now, people could get minerals from the ground, but it's not processed here on the ground. So, not only the youth who would benefit, but the county at large. I will create a policy whereby once our minerals are mined from the ground, we also have to set a factory for processing. Still, this is going to expand our areas of employment. Hence, also helping the county to gain back revenue than getting a product from the ground is very cheap. When it's processed, sold abroad, we still buy the same product at a very high price. So it was ours to create a policy to ensure that there's that smooth flow. We benefit from our own minerals, from our own natural resources. by making sure everything is processed within our county by building factories.
Try to be on the point because you have already taken 40 minutes of your time. You are remaining with 20.
The challenge that I have in my docket, now this one I'll emphasize on lands. The major challenge, land ownership. I may need to bring an investor, but now you have nowhere, no one can pump his or her money in a place where there is no security. So the major ending problem and the challenge that I have currently is now the land ownership. Our people don't have land. Our people cannot move because of the land issues. Our people cannot even get loans because they own nothing. They are just in the market. So that is the major challenge. And on the same note, on matters of land, our people are not enlightened to know where to channel their views. On my highs and lows, allow me, Chair, still to point on the Tanzania Bondeni. It was a project that has assisted so many families, but and against the same project that has really tarnished my name, whereas I even spent money from my own pocket. But that I don't keep it to my heart because my mother was a beneficiary from the same title deed. That was the highest and the lowest moment I've ever, and that's why it has pushed me to bring it to the county assembly. But I stand guided. Different laws. In the department of, in the section of land, we have the Land Act and Community Act. But I stand guided. Mine have the County Act 2016. Energy, that one I have to source. Currently, I cannot give you the answer, but I refer from the national government and the county government act and the housing.
So maybe final one, Speaker. She just mentioned that she did what she did in Tanzania because there was a relative there who was very close to her. And was that the motivation, or it was about serving the community? So were you doing it because there was a relative there, or you are doing it for the best interest of everyone? Because at the end of the day, someone would say, because this pipe passed by this place, everybody else will tap the water. But the intended user, the targeted user for that water was somewhere at the end.
Through the chair, it was not because of my relative being there. I've done a lot and I can pinpoint. Mulilo, Mbulia, that is stroke 7. I have worked on Mabomani, phase 3. I have currently, though that one I cannot discuss because the case is in court, I have the boy point. Have transversed along the whole county. We still have the issue of Matungwani. I have the notes on it. And apart even from the issue of community land, I've engaged myself on the boundary issues. The boundary here in Taveta, Mchituandei, Rombo, and Makinan Road. So it was something that I was doing because there was somebody at the end who was going to milk something good from the daughter. But it was for the county and the community at large.
Yeah, thank you. I will call upon Mheshimiwa Anthony Mkongo to ask the next question. So it was Mheshimiwa Kifuso's turn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, Patel is my twin, so there's no problem. Sometimes we are mistaken a lot. Mr. Speaker, allow me to pose the following questions to the nominee. You kindly note them down, then you respond them in that order. There are laws that that govern counties on land matters. How do you plan to apply the following in solving our day-to-day land issues in the county? I'd like to step to you these acts, and then you will explain to us how you are planning to use them, to apply them in solving your day-to-day issues in the county. That is Land Act of 2012. The other act is Community Land Act of 2016. The other question: what are the land challenges in the county at the moment, and how do you intend to tackle them? What are the land challenges in the county at the moment, and how do you intend to tackle them? At least highlight 3. The other one is, where does the function of land between the county and the national government overlap? Where does the function of land between the county and the national government overlap? The last one: if given the opportunity, what will be your priorities as a CECM? If this House approves your name and approve your candidature, what will be your priorities as a CCM? Thank you. Can respond.
Thank you. Good, Chair. The laws that govern counties and how to apply. 1, Land Act 2012. It demonstrates or gives defines the ownership of land. With this act being in implementation, our people, through the county government, may be able now, if assisted, to identify their parcels of land, which may be having titles, something that can go from generation to generation. Community land, and let me go back to Land Act. Land Act defines a land like the Matungwani there and the 4 Point. Community land, the Community Land Act 2016. This governs. Give me a second. I answer the next question before I absorb the Community Land Act 2016. Now, the land challenges and how to tackle them. Land challenges: our county lacks planning. This planning has affected the whole area. Why do I say planning? Once you plan our land and map and survey, or if the county could have done the spatial planning, this would help our county attract more investors, because there would be the investor could come and say, yes, here the place is identified, it has no conflict. Secondly, the land challenges that made us not even to expand our city. I can give an example of Moi Hospital. Maybe you can, your team share, maybe you can do fact finding. Moi Hospital, that's a place which has been there since way back 1950s. To date, Moi Hospital has no title. So this is a very, very key and sensitive area. Today, if we get an investor who wanted to upgrade that hospital to level 5, you'll find we cannot manage our vision simply because of a simple paper which could make that place to have its own identity. How to tackle the issue? I have plans, and if the chair you could allow me, I've been doing my own research ever since, not because of this docket, because I've been following some issues here on the ground. I could give you a leaflet just to peruse and see how I plan myself, because there are some areas, like in Boloki, I have them in my notes, which you could touch Mheshimiwa answering here. I've been doing my own statistics. And the document, it's just perusing instead of me reading. If you can allow me, it's just something, it's a document will just take like less than a minute. Maybe I can just pinpoint the areas which I had done my analysis.
Well, we don't encourage referring of documents unless you just hand it over to us.
I stand ready, Chair. The other question was function of land, the function of land between national and county government overlap. Since devolution, there has been no clear path separating the national and the government. Especially when it comes to mining, you find there are some policies which are applied from the national government will affect our people here on the ground, because some part of the land, still the national government holds it. So when it comes to the county government, it becomes a challenge. We say we have been devolved, but still you have to go to the national government, or at times the county government may implement something which later the national government can give a directive still to revolve on the same. Yes, sir. Through the chair, I had written behind another leaf. There's one more question. My priorities. So, my priorities, one, already there are areas which I've indicated there. If given the opportunity, because the areas that have done my analysis affect the whole county, I will engage the Committee of Lands and even the members of this county assembly, depending on the specific area where the problem or the solution is. I can take another example of my home area MCA, Honorable Newton, the Kifuso, the Kishushe. We have others here in Mwatate, we have Machungwani. This is a collective problem which needs to be handled by all the members at the Committee of Lands. So I'll give first on the issues of titles, some areas which were already, the survey was done, mapping was done, it was just awaiting the budget from the county assembly so that the rest can be implemented.
Thank you. Let me take this opportunity to also invite questions for Honorable Dr. Sinu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to congratulate our nominee, Ms.Elizabeth Mkongo, for being elected for this docket, which is very sensitive, and if she happens to be successful, Mr. Chairman, I would ask this county to provide her with security, because matters land are very, very sensitive. I also want to congratulate her as a fellow woman being nominated for this heavy tasking docket. I pray to her that if she succeeds, may God give her the grace of handling this matter. However, Mr. Chairman, before I ask her a question, I was just going through her CV and I've noted 3 things, and I'm kindly requesting her to start by responding to that. Number 1, her health certificate is of 2017. Her health certificate is of 2017. The ESCC that she has submitted, ESCC clearance form, is in form of a copy from the papers that she submitted before. During the application of this job, the ESCC copy has not been packed with the others, but in the blue file, I've seen a copy of ESCC. So, and then number 3, it's about the KRA clearance form. She has just submitted her PIN, but not the clearance certificate. I'm asking so, Mr. Chairman, because Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya is very clear on such kind of documents, and I would kindly request her to start responding to that. Then, I'll now proceed to her roles and responsibilities if she succeeds to be the CCM of lands, physical planning, housing, mining, and energy. Madam Mkongo, this committee assumes that you have a great interest on land matters in the county. Kindly inform us on these 4 land issues in the county. I've heard you speak of Machungwani land, but with no sufficient details. Kindly shed more light on that. And then Singila Majengo in Mwatate Ward, Mkamenyi land in Voi, and Masimambura. Also not forgetting Isangaibishi land, ranch, sorry. Then number 2, or sorry, do I retake it? Do I retake? Yeah. Okay. We've noted with concern the interest you have at heart in land matters, but kindly shed more light on Machungwani land in Taveta sub-county, Singila Majengo in Mwatate Ward, Mkamenyi land in Voi, Masimambuba, and Isangaibishi ranch. While at Isangaibishi ranch, kindly, madam, what would be your advice on this issue and that of Mkamenyi?
Thank you, Chair.
Also, before you respond,
apologies to the committee, the help. I used to do the clearance, so I think when I picked, but I have another one, I think in my CV, in my attached ESCC report, the integrity report, I think the current one is there. That was just a matter of wrong picking, because there was a time I was applying a joint somewhere, so I did clearance in 2017. I have the copy. ESCC, I don't know, you got it from the governor's office, because there was so much mix up. They were calling me, please, we have misplaced your document, please send, please send. You will have evidence in my email, because I was sending from my email to the office of the governor. So I don't know which one you're holding. If it is the same, then there was that communication barrier. Because they had called me, they had misplaced, so I sent again, I think even twice or thrice for the ESCC report.
Okay, go ahead.
For Singina Matate, Singina Matate has scanty information.
Mr. Chairman, please can she respond on the KRA clearance certificate because it's not there. We only have a pin of a document.
So, through the chair, the clearance, I don't know whether my file, so it should be attached to the ESCC report. And if it's not there, I can provide it because I had provided initially from day one. Yeah.
In the interest of time, continue as we check the documents.
Singila, the Singila issue in Mwatate has much information in this. This was hired from the size of estate, and so far the report currently, everything has commenced.
Yeah, continue.
Everything has, that is the mapping, survey has been carried out. They're just awaiting for the titles. Masumambuga, what I can comment about Masumambuga is a scam. For those people who have followed the journey of this, Masumambuga is a scam. Mkameni Voi, Mkameni, there's a matter in court. I wouldn't want to discuss so much on it, but what happened to Mkameni, during the tenure of our first governor, the lease had expired, it was never renewed, but unfortunately, with the second during the second governor, some documents were approved. Actually, some were approved as late as September this year, when we had our new governor now. So things were being done behind the back. So far, I cannot discuss so much on it because there is a matter in court. Mkameni the same, I've just discussed about Mkameni. It's under issue. The problem is the people neighboring, they are claiming that is their whole land in Moktawa. And my advice, what I could advise on that, first and foremost, I'll take the surveyors, get the boundaries, verify the true owners of that place, but what I will not advocate for, people to be evicted there, because already there are some people who have permanent structures, people have lived there for years, not just permanent structures. So I would just request for dialogue for the two communities, because they're just one family, but one community, but different families. So I would advocate for people to be evicted, but I'll find an amicable solution between these two parties and solve the issue. For Mkameni, there's a family that call themselves Mkameni. Mkameni, until it's done with the court case, legally, we are not supposed to discuss it. For the other question on housing, all these things are dragging. The reason being, no titles. That is the major ailment in this county. Be it mining, be it energy, be it housing. If you get titles, I can even shed a light for our fellow women here. We can borrow from South Africa, whereby women have to merry go around, and today they decide we are going to do for so and so. Especially the way the economy is right now, it will boost our standards from where we are. Because one cannot be built, maybe one has no money, but through the merry-go-round that I saw in South Africa, women contributing for each other and bidding for each other. But the major issue here, we have organizations like UN Habitat. As much as you call them here to come and do some projects here, the first question will be title. So our hands are being tied. Development is being dragged back just because of one item, title. And through the Speaker, sir, if given this opportunity and we bring in that office, I would urge and request even the House to see on how we can push on titles for our people. At least we be entitled for something that we feel we own. Thank you.
The next questions will come from
Deputy Speaker, sir, to you, nominee, note down the following questions and we will respond accordingly. How do you intend to curb the correct and planned development in the county? How do you intend to curb and correct the undevelopment in the county and planned development in the county? Then the second question, name 5 female nominees for cabinet secretaries positions. Name 5 female nominees for cabinet secretaries position. Then the third question, your network.
Thank you, Chair. Number one, how do I intend to how to curb and correct and plan development in the county? In this docket, it's wide. We have plans, we have physical planning. Solving or correcting this problem, the Department of Physical Planning, they are professionals, those are the surveyors. I'll take the first initiative, first to map out, allocate areas in which could be used like cities, hive areas where we'll keep, our community will live. Thirdly, also hive out an area where we feel like right now we have issue of food security. So the land should be planned out, should be mapped and planned out to cater and meet the needs of the county of the Taveta. For example, I cannot map an area of mining to go and place someone and build a home there. A place like Taveta, that is place known purely for agriculture. So I would first point out the need of each area. Taveta being an agricultural area, Undani we have horticultural and dairy. So I cannot say I'll go and put a city in Undani. Motate, it's almost 90% mining. So there I would think on how to map out and see how we are going to utilize these natural resources and to generate income back to our county by not interfering with the mines. In Voi, that's a place which is so strategic. It connects Taveta to Mombasa, it connects Mombasa to Nairobi. So that place, if I was to be asked, that is my opinion, I would say that's not what's going to be done. But if now I was to come, I would say Voi to be the city, Motate, we we should enjoy our mind. The area should be allocated, it should be planned in such a way that we get the value of the resources which are there. Taveta, we have our food products, which will enhance our food security in Taveta. 5 females. Number 1, I'll start with Aisha Jomo. That is 1.
If you can't remember, just say pass and continue.
Pass.
Continue to the next question, if there is any, or I think.
Question on network.
Or network. My network is roughly 60 million.
Can you give a breakdown on the same?
Yes.
Breakdown.
Through the chair, I have 3 parcels of land in Sukimau, measuring 5 acres. I have my tour farm. Currently, the business of tours is a bit down, but at least monthly, we cannot miss around 600. Though the business is down, I normally combine it with Kahaya. I also do farming. Yes.
The next question will come from Nancy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chair. How would you resolve disputes between the county government and the Ministry of Lands to ensure service delivery is not compromised? Number 2, how would you run your docket at the beginning of the financial year before the exchequer is released? Number 3,
Can you repeat that?
I start.
Yeah.
My first question, how would you resolve disputes between the county government and the Ministry of Lands to ensure service delivery is not compromised? Number 2, how would you run your docket at the beginning of the financial year before exchequer is released? Number 3, how would you contribute in resolving boundary disputes between Taita Taveta and the neighboring counties? Thank you, Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start with the last question on boundaries. In this docket and even in the structure of the county, we have the legal team. Boundary issues, there are some which can be, we don't have to go to court. It will be government, county to county. We will engage our legal team, but before we engage them, they have to be advised, because you have to know why you have to go for that, or why you have to want to solve the dispute. Before you are able to now to pinpoint where the dispute, our legal team has to pinpoint the dispute where it is. And Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I have the maps which show the dispute in Tito, the dispute in Makinan Road, and even in Jomo. So some of these issues, there are those professionals who are supposed to deal with them. And here, in this case, we engage the surveyor, who would also be able to guide the legal team, and the problem can be sorted amicably. The department is wide. Second question, resolving disputes between county government and the national government, which derail the service delivery, which will make the service delivery not to be compromised. There are laws which govern the counties, there are laws which govern the national government. These laws work interchangeably. There is no way I can go and overturn what is in the Constitution. We'll just follow the law, and where matters feel or maybe they are not solved the right way, the county attorney or the legal team will be able to advise the governor on which measures to take. On the exchequer, we are not limited only on the exchequer. We can go an extra mile, talk to other stakeholders who will in turn help during that particular period. If now the exchequer is as delayed, we can approach even the donors, we can approach other stakeholders who are like-minded and see the services being delivered to Mwananchi.
Are you through? Okay. We'll take more questions from members. The Honorable Rose address Tanzania.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Mkongo, congratulations for being appointed for this docket. As I know, your dockets cover mining. Mining is not fully devolved, and you know this, most of our county covers mining. And at the same time, Mwananchi has not benefited in this mining. What are you going to do so that Mwananchi can benefit in this mining, especially as we hear our royalties which are there in the national government, which can help us cover the budget of our whole year, more than 7 billion. What are you going to do so that Mwananchi of Taita Taveta to benefit on this? On the same, it seems you are too familiar on the lands issue. What are you going to do, or what duration are you going to take so that you finish this land issue? We are going to be issued with title deeds. On the same, you're in the middle of someone's budget and you don't have your own budget if you are given this opportunity. How are you going to work so that you make sure you cover this thing? Because in terms of you get title deeds, you need a surveyor. And maybe that survey is not budgeted. What are you going to do so that we have money for surveying? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of mining, first, we are going to lay policies that are going to protect our community, and the same policies should be strict in such a way that now our county will also earn back revenue. So where we lost our way, it's because of the policies that were laid there before. But these are policies that can be revised, and in mining section, we'll get a professional who will be in that area. It is not a one-man show. Each and every department will have the CCOs who are going to run there will be professionals, and they are going to advise and guide the county in the right way. For duration of titles, that's a very tricky question, but given the opportunity and with the expertise that I have, and with the I was waiting for you because I saw you were a bit engaged in 5%. Thank you. For durations, with the expertise that I have, given the budget, given the right support, within 2 years, the county will see the product of its service. For the budget, this one is not a policy that I'm going to make. That's why members of the county assembly are here. I think we have the Department of Finance. I'll put my proposal, and the committee, all the members of county assembly are the ones to guide us, and the relevant departments. So about budget is not in my hands to make decision, but it goes back to the county assembly. You are the one who do the legislation and pass the budget.
Yeah. Next, let's have Mheshimiwa Anisa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I would wish to congratulate Madam Elizabeth for recommendation to serve as the CEC member for lands. I'll go straight to my questions. Madam Elizabeth, what will you consider as the most serious obstacle to land ownership in the country as explained, and explain how we intend to address it? Number 2, what are your priority strategy of upgrading informal urban squatter settlements in the county? Number 3, when do you intend to generate master plan for the 2 municipalities if you are eventually hired as the CECM for the docket have been nominated for? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. Can you repeat point number 3? Number 2. Number 3. Number 3.
My question number 3 is, when do you intend to generate master plan for the 2 municipalities if you are eventually hired as the CECM for docket or you have been nominated for? That is the docket for lands, housing, energy, and the rest of it.
Thank you, Chair. The issue of ownership. If Mheshimiwa Anisa could clarify again, I would really appreciate it.
Thank you. I will not tire from repeating. What would you consider as the most serious obstacle to land ownership in the county? Explain how you intend to address it. What makes it impossible for our constituents to own land in this county? What is a hiccup?
Thank you, Chair. What I would say concerning the issue of ownership, there has been problem of planning. The whole issue came from the planning part of it. And if now there will be physical planning done by the surveyors, this problem could be solved like yesterday. If we had good planning, people will have they will have ownership of their land. You take an example of Voi, you see people are there, congested, and none of them has a title to show ownership. In Voi, we have documents called beacon certificate. It has never been sensitized to our people. Beacon certificate is not a legal document. So it's upon us first and foremost to sensitize the community, know the type of documents that they're supposed to have, and from there, once the planning is done, because when this is being done, of course, in a certain area, there are some who will be affected adversely, that is being moved from one point to another. So first and foremost, during planning, the leaders who are in those respective areas or who are in charge of that area, first to sensitize the mwananchi. Secondly, this is a journey where we have to walk a path. There are some areas maybe not known to me, but being Mheshimiwa Anisa is there, you can help with information. Information is power. There are some areas they say they have, yes, but if you ask the person the particular point where he or she owns that title, she doesn't know. So So it's a matter of us working together, holding us together, and make this a journey for all of us. Priority on the urban,
upgrading informal urban structural settlements.
Through the chair, once given this opportunity, my major priority before even I turn of urban or informal was first to plan the whole county. Once this is done, now it can guide through the advice of the surveyor and the planners. They can earmark and say, here we can do the urban, here we can do the informal. And the last one, the master plan for the two municipalities. Still, these things are relying on the same issue of planning. And if we can recall what our president currently is talking about, this project of housing, and he wants it to be done in all the counties. In each county, it has to be done on all the counties. Once we have the planning, we can also embrace the vision of our president on housing concept of it.
We'll ask two more questions. In the interest of time, maybe we'll have to reduce questions. Let me ask Mheshimiwa Rwanda, who has been raising his hand for a long time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Elizabeth Mkongo, I also congratulate you for being nominated in this sensitive document. My question is, knowing that most of the title land is owned by national park, what measures do you take to see that you benefit from those landings? On the same, what measures do you take to see that our youths benefit from job opportunities to at least 70% as per the law? And lastly, I've heard you talk about benchmarking, and as you know, we have 4 major types of benchmarking. Can you at least name 2 of them?
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of national parks and land rights, again here we'll go on the policies which trickle all the way down from the national government, because we cannot operate without the national government. Those national parks are owned by the national government. So the policies, we are going to work with the national government hand in hand to ensure they fit our locals or our community. And the measures is what I'm saying. We work hand in hand. This is a way we can argue our case, we can lobby our case to the national government. For example, though this was not a national government, we can take of Masai Mara. Initially, it was a national government, but now it's again reserved. So in this case, we'll lobby for our people so that the revenue or the benefits that come from the national parks, we offer as a county government may also benefit. But currently, the national park is under national government. For the youth to gain that 70% employment, once given this docket, we have I can pinpoint an area of mining. Once we identify a specific point, we can we can sensitize our youth. We can also lobby for the donors or investors. The county government itself, which has a right on its land, we can come with a way of creating employment. For example, can I quote our current Mheshimiwa, the governor, what we did way back in 2013 by sacrificing 7 months' salary just to boost the youth who didn't have capital to venture into the business. There are so many ways we can come up of getting finance for the youth and take them to the mining areas, and they can do their job, but they stand guided by the policies of the county and the national government. Benchmarking, I would say, I know the types, but while I mentioned the benchmarking, I've been going places or I've been called to go and learn. So if there are any other bits under that, I want to like this house, I know those categories, and right now I go and do research and audit on them. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take the last question from the chairperson of the committee on lands.
Thank you, Chair. I am Joseph Kennedy Mandela, lands and wildlife conflicts. Just want to ask you 3 questions. Are you conversant with the Mining Act 2016, and what does it say concerning the consent from the land ownership? Number 2, are you conversant with the Community Land Act 2016 on matters concerning group ranches? What does it say? And then the last question, what plans do you have to improve the mining sites in Taita Taveta for the benefits of the community and the people of Taita Taveta County? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Through the chair, if you can repeat the last question, please.
Thank you, Chair. The last question, number 3, reads, what plans do you have to improve the mining sites in Taita Taveta for the benefit of the community and the people of Taita Taveta? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, through the chair. The first question on Mining Act 2016, that one I won't go so much into detail on it because I've not done thorough research on it. I'll jump to the second question on the Community Land Act 2016 on group ranches. One, on this act, what I may say, or the information that I have, this act was enacted to protect the people, because this was just I would say it was like a clan kind of. This community land, they don't have titles. It was just owned by a group of people. So being in a community, there are leaders who are elected, and the act also gave room for leaders to be elected to safeguard the interests of other members in the same group. And that's why in these group ranches, when you visit them around, there's a leadership department which now guides the people coming in or coming out, or in the community, on what to do and what to do. There are plans to improve the sector in mining sites for the benefit of the Mwananchi. One, I would say this, it will be like a repeat. First, we'll put policies which will protect our people. Once these policies are laid down, will still go to an extra mile, ensure that it doesn't just stop with the policies. We need, if they are investors or if they are locals, we train them and know each and every product that comes from our land has a certificate of origin. Why do I say certificate of origin? To protect our people from being exploited. Number two, it will ensure that any product that goes to the market, it doesn't have that seal. The product, if it's let's say an example of green granite, then it should be counted as being smuggled. This also will enhance this house laws. Currently we have people posing as investors, but in the real sense, they're exploiting our people. So, the measures that are put are the policies. 2, build our processing plant here. 3, make sure we have, we ensure our products are marked like the way we normally have the KEF certificate. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Madam Mkongo. Yeah, what can you tell us before you go?
Thank you, Chair. First, I'd like to appreciate my sister, Mheshimiwa Dorcas. She really used a word which has really touched me. It was not that she's so special than the others, but I thank the whole house. You've given me good audience. I've learned a lot from the questions that I didn't know. As much as I thought I have the knowledge in this, but I need to brush more for me to make good progress. Otherwise, I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and all your members. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's good that you have shown interest in working for Taita County government. Yeah, if you succeed, we shall work with you and maybe we'll call you to this assembly many times. And if you don't succeed, we'll also wish you the best in your endeavor.